Security forces in Guinea clashed with angry youths in the capital, Conakry, during an opposition protest on Tuesday over the disputed February local elections. The opposition had on Monday urged their supporters to go ahead with the protest despite a ban by local authorities. A teenager is reported to have died from the violence after being shot at by security forces. Opposition leader Cellou Dalein Diallo denounced yet another death from the bullets of the security forces after alleging that his vehicle was hit at by a police bullet while on his way to the protest.
Abdourahmane Diallo est notre correspondant.
Abdourahmane Diallo is our correspondent in Conakry. Hello, Abdourahmane.
Alors, Abdourahmane, l'opposition guinéenne
The Guinean opposition called for demonstration yesterday in Conakry despite the government's ban. What can we learn from this demonstration? Opposition leaders decided on Tuesday to defy the ban issued by the Ministry of Territorial Administration. An impressive security system was deployed yesterday in the capital, Conakry. Clashes between police forces and opposition supporters began at Bellevue roundabout, a few hundred meters from the home of Cellou Dalein Diallo, whose procession was prevented from continuing towards the rally point at the tannery. On the Prince Highway, an opposition stronghold, traffic was completely paralyzed. There too, demonstrators and police forces opposed each other with stones and tear gas.
Là aussi, manifestants et forces de l'ordre se sont opposés à coups de jets de pierre et de gaz lacrymogène. Un jeune plombier de 18 ans a été tué dans la journée à cause.
There's opposition leaders who have called for the demonstration accuse the government of violating an agreement reached in August on the installation of local elected officials after disputed elections on 4th February. What does the agreement say? The agreement of 4th August sealed a consensus between the presidential movement and the opposition on the installation of communal executives. Each of the parties had agreed to rely on this agreement and to silence electoral claims that will no longer be based on the results of judicial decisions that is resulting from the appeals. The movement therefore agreed to cede the urban commune of Guinea, demanded by the UFDG of Cellou Dalein Diallo. And the opposition should appoint the 26 presidents of the districts in which it claimed victory. In return, it agreed to hand over the movement of the head of the municipal executive of Dupreka on the outskirts of Conakry. For the other municipalities, the agreement provided for the election of the municipal executives. The other point that marks the news in Guinea is the teachers' strike that prevents the resumption of classes in public schools. How is the situation in The start of the school year officially began on October 3rd, but teachers have turned away from schools to denounce the government's refusal to open negotiations on increasing their salaries. This leg of Abu Bakar Suma claims a base salary of 8 million Guinean francs or 800 euros approximately. But the government is not waiting to give in to such a claim. For them, it is impossible, given that the economic situation of the country, to grant such a request. Prime Minister Kosari Fofana has recently toughened his tone, saying he will not hesitate to suspend strikers' wages if he continued the movement. Classes have not yet resumed in public, and private teachers are called upon to support the strike. On Monday, disgruntled students and their parents blocked traffic on some roads before being quickly dispersed by the police. Last question, Abdourahmane. A few days ago, the Minister of Justice revealed the name of the place where the much-awaited trial of the massacre of 28 September 2009 will be held in Conakry Stadium, where at least 156 people were killed. How was this announcement received by the collective of the victim families? The steering committee has decided that the Freedom Cinema will host a trial. Even if no date has yet been given, the victims' groups are confident that since the arrival of Sheikh Sako, the current Minister of Justice, the lines have been moving. It is now necessary to mobilize the necessary budget to organize the trial. A budget of 78 billion Guinean francs or 7.8 million euros, 77% of which will be covered by the Guinean government. The US and the European Union have already announced that they will contribute 23% of the financial resources. The draft budget shall be presented to the National Assembly, currently sitting in Conakry.
Les États-Unis et l'Union européenne ont déjà annoncé qu'ils allaient eux aussi contribuer à la mobilisation des ressources financières à hauteur certainement de 23%. Le projet de budget devait passer devant l'Assemblée nationale qui siège en ce moment même à Conakry.